It's 3 a.m. and you're wide awake, staring at your phone, wondering why you can't sleep. Now imagine a Cherokee woman named Morning Star 500 years ago, sleeping so deeply in her village that she dreams of flying with eagles. No sleep aids, no melatonin, no white noise machine. Just pure, natural sleep that would make your Apple Watch jealous. What did she know that we've forgotten? Stay until the end, because what I'm about to share could change how you sleep forever. Let me take you back to a misty morning in a Cherokee village, where Morning Star awakens naturally as the first bird begins to sing. She's had 12 hours of the kind of deep, restorative sleep that most of us can only dream about, and she's not unique. Across thousands of Native American communities, from the frozen tundra of Alaska to the deserts of Arizona, people were experiencing what modern science now calls the best sleep in human history. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, really? People without electricity and modern medicine had better sleep than us? But here's the thing. Our ancestors weren't just sleeping better by accident. They had figured out something that we, with all our technology and research, are desperately trying to rediscover. Think about your last great night's sleep. Can you even remember one? For most of us, good sleep feels like winning the lottery, but for Native Americans, it was just Tuesday. They didn't need sleep studies or expensive mattresses. They had something much more powerful. So what made their sleep so special? I'm going to take you on a journey through 3 incredible discoveries. First, we'll meet Ayana, a Lakota grandmother who could predict the weather through her dreams. Then Dakota, a Cherokee medicine man who knew plants that could give you the deepest sleep of your life. And finally, we'll uncover the one simple practice that tied it all together, something so powerful that Harvard sleep researchers are now studying it. But here's the beautiful part. You don't need to live in a teepee or give up modern life to sleep like they did. You just need to understand what they understood about the human body, the natural world, and something we've completely forgotten in our rush toward progress. Here's something that will shock you. Native Americans didn't sleep like us at all. While we're obsessed with getting exactly 8 hours in one block, they had figured out something much smarter. Meet Running Bear, a Blackfoot warrior from what we now call Montana. Unlike you setting your iPhone alarm for 7 a.m. every single day, Running Bear's sleep moved like a river, flowing with the seasons, the weather, and even the phases of the moon. And here's the kicker. Modern sleep scientists are now saying he was doing it right all along. During summer, Running Bear might sleep for just 4 hours during the cool night, then take a midday rest when the sun was blazing. In winter, he could sleep for 12 hours, but not all at once. He'd sleep deeply for 5 hours, wake up for some storytelling around the fire, then drift back to sleep until dawn. Sound crazy? Well, this is exactly what our brains naturally want to do. Dr. Roger Ekirch, a sleep historian who studied thousands of historical documents, discovered that this segmented sleep was normal for humans throughout history. That midnight awakening you sometimes have? That's not insomnia. That's your brain trying to do what Running Bear's brain did naturally. But here's where it gets really interesting. Running Bear's tribe, the Blackfoot, had different names for different types of sleep. They recognized day sleep, night sleep, winter sleep, and even vision sleep, the deep rest that brought prophetic dreams. We have one word, sleep. They had a whole vocabulary because they understood something we've forgotten. Not all sleep is the same. Our girl Ayana, that Lakota grandmother I mentioned earlier, lived by what her people called the sacred rhythm. When the days grew longer, her sleep grew shorter but deeper. When winter came, she'd sleep like a bear, long, restorative rests that recharged her completely. If you're finding this as mind-blowing as I am, hit that like button. It helps more people discover these incredible sleep secrets. And definitely subscribe because we're just getting started. Trust me, what's coming next about their sleeping spaces will change how you think about your bedroom forever. The genius wasn't just in when they slept, but in how flexible they were. Imagine if instead of stressing about getting exactly 8 hours, you could sleep 4 hours, take an afternoon nap, and feel completely refreshed. That's exactly what many Native American cultures did, and their health was incredible because of it. The Cherokee had a beautiful concept called Envia Id Anasgaya, based on night medicine. This was a sacred time around 3 a.m. when they'd naturally wake up, spend some quiet time in prayer or meditation, then drift back to sleep. Instead of reaching for their phone like we do, they saw this awakening as a gift, a time when the spirit world was closest. Modern research now shows this midnight awakening happens because of natural melatonin cycles. The Cherokee just rolled with it instead of fighting it. They turned what we call middle-of-the-night insomnia into spiritual practice. Genius, right? Yes. Now let's talk about where they slept, because this is where things get really fascinating. Forget your memory foam mattress and Egyptian cotton sheets. Native Americans created sleeping spaces that were like natural sleep laboratories. Walk into a traditional Cherokee home with me. Our friend Dakota, that medicine keeper, sleeps in what looks like a cocoon of natural materials. The floor? Woven mats made from river cane that breathe with the seasons. The walls? Cedar and clay that naturally regulate temperature and humidity. No central air needed. But here's the coolest part. Dakota's sleeping area actually changes throughout the year. In summer, he sleeps on elevated platforms to catch cool breezes. In winter, he moves closer to the central fire, surrounded by buffalo hides that create a warm microclimate. His bedroom literally adapts to the seasons automatically. Compare that to your bedroom, which probably stays the same temperature year-round thanks to heating and AC. Sounds like progress, right? Well, maybe not. Modern sleep research shows that our bodies actually want different sleeping temperatures in different seasons. The Cherokee just naturally followed what their bodies needed. Then there's the genius of teepee design. Ever wonder why teepees are cone-shaped? It's not just for stability. That shape creates perfect air circulation. Warm air rises and exits through the smoke hole at the top, while cool, fresh air enters at the bottom. Your own personal climate control system that adjusts automatically to outside conditions. The materials they used weren't just practical, they were perfect for sleep. Imagine sleeping on Morningstar's bed. Layers of soft grasses that conform to your body, covered with deerskin that breathes naturally, topped with furs that regulate temperature without making you overheat. No synthetic materials, no off-gassing, no sleep disruption from weird chemicals. And here's something we've completely lost: communal sleeping that actually improved sleep quality. While we value privacy in our separate bedrooms, many Native American families slept together in ways that enhanced security and warmth. Children slept better knowing parents were nearby. Adults slept deeper knowing someone was always listening for threats. It was like a natural security system that let everyone relax completely. Now we're getting to the really good stuff. The natural sleep medicine that puts our modern pills to shame. Dakota, our Cherokee medicine keeper, had access to a pharmacy that would make your local CVS jealous. Except his pharmacy grew in the forest, had no side effects, and actually improved your health while helping you sleep. Let me tell you about passion flower. While you're spending $40 on synthetic melatonin, Cherokee healers were using this wild vine that grows freely across the southeastern United States. Modern research now shows passion flower is as effective as prescription anti-anxiety medication for improving sleep, but without the hangover effect. Here's how Dakota would prepare it. He'd gather the flowering vines in the late morning when the dew had dried, but before the sun got too hot. He'd dry them carefully in the shade, then brew them into a tea that he'd drink about an hour before sleep. The result? Natural deep sleep that left him refreshed instead of groggy. But passion flower was just the beginning. The Cherokee also used wild lettuce, not the stuff in your salad, but a taller, bitter plant that contains natural compounds similar to mild opioids. Sounds dangerous? It's actually incredibly safe and was used for centuries to ease pain and promote deep sleep. Ayana, our Lakota grandmother, had her own special collection of sleep plants. She'd gather wild bergamot, what we now call bee balm, to the summer months. She'd dry the flowers and leaves, then burn them like incense in her sleeping area. The smoke would naturally calm the nervous system and clear the airways for better breathing during sleep. It's like aromatherapy and sleep medicine combined. But here's the really amazing part. They didn't just use these plants as medicine, they integrated them into their daily lives in ways that improved sleep naturally. Sweet grass was burned during evening prayers, creating a calming ritual that signaled to the body it was time to wind down. Cedar boughs were placed under sleeping mats to repel insects and provide a natural, calming scent. The Ojibwe had a plant they called type of willow bark that contains natural compounds similar to aspirin. They'd make it into tea for people who couldn't sleep due to pain or inflammation. No side effects, no prescription needed, and it actually helped the body heal while promoting rest. And unlike our modern sleep aids that can be habit-forming, these plant medicines actually supported overall health. The Cherokee concept of sleep medicine wasn't just about falling asleep, it was achieving the kind of deep, restorative sleep that healed the body and spirit. Here's something that will completely change how you think about dinner. Native Americans ate for sleep, not just to avoid hunger, but specifically to promote the deepest, most restorative rest possible. Remember Running Bear, our Blackfoot warrior? His last meal of the day was perfectly timed and crafted for optimal sleep. While you might be reaching for pizza or ice cream at 9 p.m., Running Bear was eating his final meal 3 to 4 hours before sleep. Timing that modern research now shows is crucial for quality rest. But it wasn't just when he ate, it was what he ate. His evening meal might include wild salmon rich in omega-3 fatty acids that modern studies show improve sleep quality, wild rice that provided complex carbohydrates for stable blood sugar throughout the night, and berries loaded with natural antioxidants that supported his body's repair processes during sleep. Here's the kicker. Running Bear never had to think about eating for sleep. His traditional diet automatically provided everything his body needed for perfect rest. No supplements, no special sleep foods, just natural nutrition that worked in harmony with his body's needs. The Cherokee understood something we've forgotten. Hunger disrupts sleep, but so does eating too much or too late. Morning Star would eat her largest meal during the midday when her body could digest it efficiently, then have a lighter evening meal that satisfied without overwhelming her system. Think about your last late-night snack. Probably processed, probably sugary, probably designed to keep you awake rather than help you sleep. Compare that to a traditional Native American evening meal. Maybe some dried venison for protein that helps produce sleep-inducing amino acids, wild herbs that naturally calm the nervous system, and herbal teas that gently prepare the body for rest. Now we're getting to the heart of it, the spiritual practices that turned ordinary sleep into something sacred and deeply restorative. This is where Native Americans really separated themselves from every other culture in history. For Ayanna, our Lakota grandmother, sleep wasn't just rest. It was a journey. Every night she'd perform what her people called entering the dream lodge, a ritual that prepared both her body and spirit for the deepest possible sleep. As the sun sets, Ayanna begins her evening ritual. She starts by burning sage, not just for the pleasant smell, but because the smoke naturally calms the nervous system. She faces the 4 directions and gives thanks for the day, a practice that modern psychologists recognize as incredibly effective for reducing anxiety and worry. Then comes the genius part. Instead of scrolling through her phone or watching the news like we do, Ayanna spends time reflecting on the day's experiences and setting intentions for her dreams. She's literally programming her subconscious for restorative sleep. The Cherokee had a practice called dream planting, where they would think about specific questions or problems before sleep, trusting that answers would come through dreams. Modern research on problem solving during sleep shows they were absolutely right. The brain continues working on problems during REM sleep and often produces creative solutions. But here's what really set Native American sleep apart. They saw dreams as real experiences, not just random brain activity. This belief alone probably improved their sleep quality dramatically. Instead of dismissing dreams or forgetting them immediately, they paid attention to them, which likely enhanced REM sleep and dream recall. So after studying thousands of years of Native American sleep wisdom, what's the one practice that could revolutionize your sleep starting tonight? It's something so simple you might dismiss it, but so powerful that Harvard researchers are now studying it intensively. It's this: treating sleep as sacred time. That's it. But here's what that really means. For Native Americans, the transition from waking to sleeping wasn't just flip a switch and pass out. It was a gradual, intentional journey from the active world to the spirit world. They created rituals, prepared their space, and approached sleep with the same respect they gave to prayer or ceremony. Think about how you currently go to sleep. Probably scrolling your phone until you can barely keep your eyes open, then rolling over and hoping for the best. Compare that to Morning Star's evening routine. Thanking the day, preparing her space, burning calming herbs, and gradually transitioning from activity to rest. The magic isn't in any single technique, it's in approaching sleep as something valuable and sacred rather than just the absence of being awake. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds amazing, but I can't exactly move into a teepee and hunt buffalo. You're right, but here's the beautiful thing. You can adapt these principles to modern life in ways that will dramatically improve your sleep. Start with the sacred transition. Instead of collapsing into bed after staring at screens, create your own version of the evening ritual. Maybe it's lighting a candle. Maybe it's spending 5 minutes in gratitude. Maybe it's just turning off devices an hour before sleep. The specific activity matters less than the intention. Consider seasonal sleeping. You don't need to completely change your schedule, but you could allow yourself to sleep a bit longer in winter and take short naps in summer when possible. Work with your body's natural rhythms instead of fighting them. Try some of the plant medicines. Passion flower tea, valerian root, or even just chamomile can provide gentle, natural sleep support without the side effects of prescription medications. Most importantly, change your relationship with sleep. Instead of seeing it as lost productivity time, recognize it as the foundation of everything else you want to achieve. Native Americans slept well because they valued sleep. When you truly value something, you naturally take better care of it. Here's the truth that might be hard to hear. We traded the best sleep in human history for the convenience of modern life. Electric lights, rigid schedules, processed foods, and synthetic environments have systematically destroyed our ability to sleep naturally. But the secret didn't completely die. It's still there in the plant medicines growing wild in our backyards. It's in the natural rhythms our bodies still remember. It's in the simple act of treating sleep as sacred rather than inconvenient. Native Americans slept better than us, not because they were primitive, but because they were connected to nature, to community, to the spiritual dimension of rest that we've forgotten exists. The question is, now that you know their secrets, what are you going to do with them? If this video opened your eyes to what's possible with your sleep, I need you to do 3 things. First, hit that like button. It tells me you want more content like this. Second, subscribe and ring the bell because I'm diving deep into ancient health wisdom that could change your life. And third, drop a comment telling me which Native American sleep secret you're going to try first. Seriously, I read every comment and your experience could help someone else discover better sleep. Sweet dreams, and I'll see you in the next video where we're uncovering how Native American clans survived frozen cold winters. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.